show you a trick to get in a gate if it's stuck, okay? Let me show you what you do. You just give this little kick. It's a little kick right there, Greg. Is that a snake? That's not a snake. Okay, day one. Leading up to this point, we've built plans, met with the contractor, gone over a bunch of stuff. Pool's freshly excavated here. Got the lazy river in the front. Got the big pool out in the back. This is going to be like a VRBO. The big problem with lazy rivers is people try and cheap out. The most expensive part, or one of the most expensive parts of a lazy river, is the pump system. So a lot of people, what they do is they just try and throw a bunch of 3 horsepower pumps at a lazy river, expecting it to create flow. But like in this one, for example, we're using river flow. These are big 2,500 gallon a minute pumps. They basically use like boat props to move the water. Super low head, but high volume. And they'll get the whole river moving. Like the whole cross section of water will move in that channel. You know, it'll be like, if you imagine the channel's 4 feet deep, all of the water across 4 feet deep is going to be moving. Obviously faster at the surface, but you get a couple of pumps in there and they might look like it's moving, but it's moving the top 3 inches of water, and that's where they generally fail. So here's the other thing about lazy rivers that's unique. They may not have a ton of square footage on top, right? Because it's a channel, but it poses a unique challenge in cleaning. An in-floor system, 1 or 2 in-floor systems, might cover the whole surface in terms of heads. But if you don't have enough pickup points for the debris, what you get is just the in-floor system is pushing debris here and there, here and there, here and there. But you don't have any filtration to pick that up. So one thing we always do is we'll break it into zones. We'll go zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, for example. And every zone will be treated like a miniature pool. It'll have a main drain. It'll have an in-floor cleaning system, and it's really important that you pair the drain with the in-floor system that's in that area together, so that when the in-floor's on, that drain's on. I've seen some builders cheap out and they throw one in-floor system. Like, let's say they'll throw a 12 port at this. Now they spread the heads all the way around, but they got one drain down in the other end. It's not realistic that debris is going to get moved by the in-floor system from this point all the way around and make it to the drain. It's just not realistic. Getting with somebody who can design it for you right, I mean, that's what our goal is, to make sure when we leave after we've designed the plumbing, it actually works. That's another way to cheap out, and another failure point. That's unique to lazy rivers. It's unlikely that we will get through this the first round without having to make a change. It's unlikely. You know, things like I said earlier are dynamic, they change. We might start identifying some new problems, and maybe that'll be a fun part of this series, is you'll get to see some of those problems and how we defeat those things. But the QC checks are important. That's another thing. You can't just throw a plan out here, throw a plumber out here and have them do it. You got to really make sure they executed it correctly, make sure nothing got missed, make sure everything's in place. So this is the front edge of the lazy river right here. It's kind of tough to see, but the big pool, I shouldn't call it the big pool because it's smaller, but the main pool and spa is back there. This is all lazy river up here, and it's completely separate. They don't intermingle water at all. And then if you cross the channel, there will be bridges to get across this in a couple strategic places, but if you cross the channel into there, where you can see that yellow pick handle, this circular area is like a splash pad. So it's got a big fixed palm tree, and then it's got some bubblers around it. So kind of what happened, and this is an example of one of the things that you have to kind of work on the fly, is that's going to hold 6 inches of water. There's no in-floor cleaning system built into the engineering they had. So now we've asked them for a revision. So that's something we're working on. But you can also see that creates a problem for their entry steps. If you look over here, you'll notice the entry steps coming out of the channel and in, there's a form board across. Well, that form board goes away because the first step is actually the same elevation as the pad, which is -9. -9 from top of beam is 3-inch freeboard, 6 inches of water. Well, that's a top step height. So that whole upper level and this top step are all going to be the same. And then it's going to drop to a second, third, so they're probably going to have to add a step. It was just something that was drawn on the plan, kind of vague or incorrect, and that's something that we got to kind of change on the fly. In this case, we're going to send it back to engineering and have them re-engineer it, but it's the kind of stuff, if you had a shitty plumber, might not catch that. You might get all the steel in the pool and then realize, I don't have an in-floor system in your splash pad. Now it's a big problem. built here before, like right here. That's why technically, see how it's got that piece of board right there? It's all top step. And then you step down, it has 6 inches of water. Hola. But basically it's, the lazy river has 3 systems and a booster. They're using sand filters here. Spa. Let me show you this one. Here we go. I gotta fix all this, but that's the equipment right there. That's that shed that's existing. So they're gonna build this wall. So basically all of the lazy river shit's right here. Pool shit's right here. Spa shit's right here. These are the valves for the lazy river infloor. This is a pool valve, spa valve, the other 2 pool valves. And we can change that if you want to put 2 of them over here and 1 there, however it works out.
Okay.
But all the 6 ports are behind. That's just a 2-port. The spa has a little front access skimmer and a water leveler. Even though it has the spillway, because they're gonna sometimes they're gonna leave this thing running on its own for like 2-3 weeks without the spillway. So it needs to have its own little skimmer and water leveler.
Okay.
But pretty much, I know the only things that happened is they changed this step to 4-6, and they added 1 little step right here. And then this one, we have to do the in-floor in there.
I thought that big one was palm tree.
Yeah, no, it's like a water feature. That one's a 2. This is a 4. So 4-port, 6 ports. How many zones are in that lazy river? Well, they're gonna fucking change now anyway, but 1 through 10, 11, 13. So it's the same, it has 13. No, it has 15. Yeah, it has 15.
15. But the plus pad is gonna be part of the lazy river.
Yeah,
right?
so that's gonna, so it'll have 16 really. So we'll just do 3 6-ports on that one. So that'll be a 6, 6, and 6. Yeah. Okay. Did they give you the shells already?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Is that still open, the shed?
Code is...
Let's look in there and see what they have.
Okay.
That's probably all you need for now. Let's go see what they got in there.